God, there's just so much junk and rubbish lately that I've noticed on YouTube and all over the internet as well. It's on other social medias of just terrible, bad advice on making money. And to be honest, the point is just to try and sell you something at the end of the day. That's why they're doing it. So I'm going to try and offer my 2 cents and kind of provide some clarity on it and debunk a lot of the issues with a lot of this content. Whether it be, Andrew Tate and the real world being promoted, or it's just general influencers who are, plugging some sort of scheme, some sort of magic technique that's going to get you rich. And people need to realize it's not helpful. It's useless. And it's affecting a lot of people very negatively. I think, when I see a thumbnail like that, I'm like, oh, I'm going to click on that. I can make some money. And it's just not true. They're either giving you some useless advice, saying something really obvious, or plugging something to promote themselves. They're not actually helping you. And the majority of people just don't need more of these videos. There's so many of them. There's millions of them. And I don't want to try and make one of these videos myself. I would obviously, of course, like to provide helpful information, but I don't want to just do one of those ranking videos where there's here's 10 side hustles that will make you rich. No. I have tried to do that and I may try to do it again, but I want to try and provide more value. Don't just say some useless stuff and plug something. And I think what most people don't realize is they need kind of more clear advice to take actionable steps that would yield results. And there is some of that on YouTube, but not a lot. And it's hard to find and hard to filter through. And these actionable steps, it isn't like a blueprint or instructions that people can follow and just win. It doesn't work like that, unfortunately. And what's important is to identify a good opportunity that's suitable to them and not just like a one size fits all. Here's an instruction, build this website, find this product, sell it, and you win. So we're going to look at what makes a good side hustle and how do you know if it will be worth your time? How do you know if it has potential and how does it fit custom to you? And then hopefully the framework provided can actually give you some value on your side hustle and help you with your income. Side hustles are constantly advertised online. There's no two ways about it. They're frequently advertised to sell courses or even affiliate marketing. I did a short on this a while ago. You'll notice there's so many creators who will plug Shopify. And that's not to say Shopify isn't, a bad tool. It is actually pretty good. I've used it myself. But they have an affiliate scheme. And so it's really hard to trust all of these creators plugging Shopify when their main purpose for doing it is just to make money. Because if they're just trying to make money, how do you know that they're telling the truth? So every time, you go on one of the videos and you click on Shopify and you purchase a plan, they'll get money from it. And all of these schemes are making creators money. And there's another one that I'll go into in a bit more detail in a minute, which is quite crazy when you think about it. And they use these like side hustle videos to not only affiliate market, but also plug communities and private systems, almost like a pyramid scheme. And what I said I was going to talk about is in fact the real world. And the problem with the real world is if you don't know it is a pyramid scheme, one could argue that there is some value provided in it. They will teach stuff that will help people and there will be testimonials that are true, but there are certain parts of the real world that plug content creation and clipping, posting it online, and then advertising the real world. So you join the real world through an ad, like a reel, and then get told to make clips doing the exact same thing and over again, and this just boosts their publicity. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. So you've got the real world up here, and then you've got all of these clippers. Once you join the real world, one of the things they will teach you to get you to earn money is to clip farm. And the reason I'm explaining this is because the real world, right, as a cost is $99 a month, right? And then what they'll do is they'll offer a 48% commission on all of these clippers here. Excuse my handwriting. So of this 99, they'll get roughly half of it. So they get $49 every single time they get like a sign up, which is massive incentive for the clippers. But then it just becomes a scheme because then they'll have, people who they have join on this $99 and then they'll join and be taught the exact same thing and it'll go back up here. And the people who do this don't make a lot of money from it. Clipping is a very difficult niche, whether it be like copyright issues, a low RPM. It can be viable, but it tends to make someone else more money than yourself, and I really don't recommend it. It's not a very nice path to go down. If we look away from these schemes that you see advertised on YouTube all the time, the problem with traditional side hustles, like basic labor services, in-person, physical, or online, whatever it may be, is the more basic the labor, the higher the competition. And that's just a fact, that's the case for everything. But it means you're trading all of your time for what is essentially less than minimum wage if there's loads of competition. If you're competing with people from third world countries who don't have a minimum wage, you can't pay yourself fairly. And this is the only benefit of doing this, is if you're learning anything valuable. So say I pick copywriting, a highly, highly competitive skill and very difficult to do. And also AI can do it. So that's a really tricky one. And the only benefit I'd get from doing that is practicing it and getting better. I'm not seeing a lot of, short-term income. I'm not seeing £1,000 overnight just from making a listing on Fiverr type of thing. So I can take the value from what I've learned with copywriting with all of the other people that do copywriting. I don't know. I can't see the purpose really in hiring a copywriter unless you're a really, really big company. I see the point in it, but I'm not going to hire a copywriter. And so that kind of means there's a very small amount of customers and a very large amount of suppliers. But yeah, you can then take these skills that you've learned and apply them somewhere else. But if you're not going to start a business that requires copywriting or do anything that requires copywriting, it's not very helpful. So that sort of skill you can't do. It's not going to make you a load of money unless you have a big kind of empire with employees or systems and processes that do it for you. Subtracts from the amount of time you have to do because you're not the one actually doing the copywriter. Yes, that thing of course makes sense. But this basic advice of say you work in an office and you do sales, just to go and start doing copywriting for money, it's not really going to be worth your time. And this exact same applies with this reclipping niche, whether it be Andrew Tate or whether it be streamers. You see loads and loads of clips of people splicing together, doing little edits of streamers and other YouTubers and stuff like that. They're being paid to do that, and there's little schemes you can go online on websites and they'll pay for an amount of views if you've done a short or a reel or whatever it may be, a TikTok that fits their requirements. And it does make money, of course, but it will often make the streamers more money than it will make yourself because it's just boosting their awareness. So if all of this is, should be avoided or is difficult or problematic, then what should you do? Because the answer isn't really finding, the right niche, the right technique, and no one else knows about it. The right answer is actually a mindset that you can learn that gives you opportunities rather than looking for opportunities. It's all about making and not finding. And you'll hear other people say this, but delaying income in favor for learning a skill, especially at a young age, is really, really good. And if you already have skills, then fantastic, you're one step ahead and you can apply the skills you've learned to make income. Okay, so this is what I mean, and you'll see a lot of other creators kind of call this skill stacking, and it is true. So say you're working at your job and you've accumulated skills in sales, maybe marketing, finance, logistics. You can group all of these together as kind of a set of skills that make up the value that you bring. And all of these together will make a good entrepreneur. It's kind of what makes or breaks your character and gives you the ability to do all of this on your own and become a business owner, and there's loads of value in that. This is why having a job is actually really valuable. I know loads of people will say, self-employment business is really, really good. Jobs suck, get out of the 9 to 5. If the 9 to 5 helps you, pays you, and teaches you something, what's wrong with that? You see all of these people hating on 9 to 5s. They're not even that bad. So you can take the skills you've learned. So let's have a few examples. Sales, marketing. These are really valuable skills. Copywriting, again, very competitive, so that's not really one I'd recommend, but if that works for you, that works for you. Video editing's a big one, There's loads of editors, but there's very few really, really good editors. And there's so many YouTubers, lots and lots of customers. So you can take these skills and this experience and implement them into a way you can monetize them. And this is the step people get stuck at. So people get stuck at becoming skilled at something and then monetizing it. Those are the two things. And you've got to implement it in a way you can monetize commerce, sales, marketing, content creation. Maybe you'll take a commission of something, whatever it is. And maybe you can do a contracted job, but you're a specialist in this software, whatever it is. The best way to grow through doing this is build up testimonials, because people want proof of concept. If you're just a stranger on the internet with a weird ad, you're not going to get as many sales and as much revenue as someone who is trusted and is recommended to other people. That's just a fact, So what you should do is just start working, and not for a lot of money. Maybe you're not making minimum wage, or maybe you're doing it for free and you're getting these testimonials and reviews, and you can use them to promote yourself to up your prices later, because the proof of concept is really valuable to a lot of people. So say I'm starting a business tomorrow and I don't have a lot of money to play with. Am I going to risk a lot of this money on someone I've never heard of and I don't know if they're any good? Or am I going to spend a bit more on someone I can trust? Of course, I'm going to take the guy I can trust, which is why you need to build testimonials for yourself. Let's take this YouTube channel, for example. I'm new to YouTube. I haven't made many videos. Maybe in 100 videos time, I'll be way better at this and people will trust me. It's just kind of how it works. I appreciate that this is a small channel right now, and it's small because maybe I'm still learning. What you can do as like a contractor, as your side hustle, is if you're making other people money, that's leverage you have. And leverage is really, really important. And you can use this to ask for a commission. Commission's amazing. Say you make someone £500 on a YouTube video as an editor. Instead of saying, oh, I charge this much an hour, you can say, oh, can I have 10-20% of the revenue? That's such a small step, because A, it takes risk away from the creator, because if the video doesn't make any money, then you don't get paid. And that's risky for you, obviously, but it's more incentive for the creator. And then it's incentive for you, because if you get a viral video, all of a sudden your income isn't attached to your time and your time's freed up. It's fantastic. And that's the step people should take from, hourly pay to really monetize their skill. And then the development of this is that you build something from your network of skills, like an asset that truly disconnects your income and your time, which is really valuable. I would dream of doing this one day, maybe own a business, a system or a way of making money I've still got me involved, but disconnects me from my time, because, who wants to work and just give up 12 hours and work for an hourly wage? So this can be hiring employees, really, really good one. Training people to do what you do, that's a fantastic way of doing this. You've got to appreciate that you will lose some profit because you've got to pay these people. But this is kind of looking forward, scaling it from a side hustle to a full-blown business. And you can even go online if you don't want to hire people. You can look at contractors, you can look at services online just to help you. Say you're a YouTuber like I am. If I grew one day, hopefully I would be able to, hire a video editor, a thumbnail designer, script writer, whatever it may be, and it would just save me a lot of time, which would be fantastic. And that is the secret behind scaling. It's super valuable. And I hope this video has been helpful. I'm trying to provide like a little bit of value and not just some random list that's not actually that helpful. So let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks very much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.